on the Instagrams. All right, baby, let's go. Fuck them. Fuck them. If they ain't in here, man, that's their own damn problem. Cause you know what? Wetz and Heff to the fucking moon. Send this podcast to the moon. We're Dogecoining it.
One-hit wonder.
Hey, we ain't gonna be a one-hit wonder. We're gonna be the Drakes. We're gonna be the Drakes. We're gonna be the Moon Rocks. We're gonna be the whole fucking thing. We gotta get Heff's fucking camera figured out, though.
I know. It's kind of still laggy, isn't it?
Go into your real quick. Go into your Discord. You know, how many frames are you running your Discord at with your camera? Can you look that up?
I don't even know how to do that.
What's that?
Where do you see that at? Where do you see that?
So I'd pop out. Hit the little settings on the left side that says user settings.
Hang on. I might just unplug this one and use my other one for tonight until I can figure it out.
Okay. And yeah, that works. We could do some test runs later on. So get up in here, man. We got 5 viewers up in the chat. Let's give the people what the hell they want. Okay? And that is the people want blockbuster smash mouth, no remorse talking pod. This week we don't got a guest. This week this is straight Heff and Wetz. Okay, and it's gonna be like this sometimes. We're not always gonna have a guest. But on the side note of guests, I want the people to know if you got anyone you want to recommend to the channel, anyone we should pursue. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, whoever, let us know. But I just want to say we have gotten a lot of love, a lot of support on the socials, a lot of support specifically on the Instagram. We want to get that Twitter kind of popping up a little bit more. But we're getting a lot of love, and I think for the third week, we're kind of in a nice spot. People support, people enjoying it. What do you think, Heff? Can you hear?
Yeah, we've had good numbers, and we really appreciate it when you guys are in the chat interacting with us. Makes it easier, makes it more fun for everyone involved. So we appreciate those of you who have been here for episode 1 and 2, and now number 3. So really trying to push our agenda and get our numbers up. So any sort of interactions help.
Yep, any sort of interactions, man. And so this week we'll be talking some college football, Heisman watch. ACC now is going to be in theaters.
Ooh,
that's tough.
I might have to tune in.
That's tough. Our NBA champions, world champs. There's been a lot of debate. Some track dude, no disrespect, I think his name's Niles something. Lyles. Came out and said he don't believe NBA's are world champs. Okay, debatable. We'll get into it. We'll talk a little FIBA basketball, and then we're gonna get into a little top 5 stadium bucket list. But before we kind of get into all of that, again, we just want to thank everyone for tuning in right now, tuning in on the YouTube, engaging with us on Instagram. And one thing, we want to know. We want to know what you want. What could we be better at? What we lacking in? What do you want us to talk about? And that's part of why we're on Twitch. We can get you in there engaging. So we're gonna kind of get up into this. I'm curious to see what some of y'all's favorite highlights were we posted on the Insta. We had the Grizz hit, the Bobcat hit. Who made that catch? Was that a Tennessee player? Who was that?
That was South Carolina.
That was South Carolina. Then we had the Reggie Bush tape today. Which is sad. I'd be asking some of my players I coach, like, hey, do you know Reggie Bush? Some of these fucking kids don't know who Reggie Bush is.
There's so much to be said about that guy. When that Manziel documentary came out, First thing he's like, dude, how do I have mine? And this guy doesn't have his. So I don't know what it would take to reinstate it, but I think it's worth taking a look at. He was just as good as anybody we've ever seen.
You're our age, and I assume the people up in the chat. You know, like we're between like 25, maybe a little younger, 25, 26, 27. The go-to hanging out with the homies was the Reggie Bush mixtape.
Oh God.
You go on YouTube, you're gonna watch that Reggie Bush mixtape. And the fact, how did he lose he lost the Heisman because supposedly somebody was buying his family a house? How'd that work, Heff?
It was just NIL before its time. There's been a lot of issues and wins that coaches have had to vacate because of that shit, which is pretty stupid given the world we live in now. I think we should readdress some of those things.
Yeah, they need to reinstate that Heisman. Did they give it to anybody, or is it just an empty Heisman year?
No, it's just empty.
Yeah,
Pretty sure they tried giving it to Vince Young, but Vince Young said, "That's about the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Said, fuck no.
Why would I want it?"
Greatest college football game ever was the 05 Rose Bowl.
That's up there.
Shit. That is definitely up there, man. Hook 'em.
Just that scene in that stadium, dude. Oh my God. Nothing beats the Rose Bowl.
No, man. What did they call it? The granddaddy of it all? Granddaddy of them all?
Granddaddy of them all. There was one 2 years ago, dude. It was Ohio State and Utah. Utah's starting quarterback, All-American quarterback, gets hurt. The backup comes in and just throws dots, dude. I think it was 50-something to 60-something, just defense optional. But I mean, that's what you get with the Rose Bowl. You just get a freaking bloodbath. It's always one of the top 10 games of the year. Doesn't matter who's playing in it. It always lives up.
What's the name of the backup for Utah that came in?
Oh, dude, I don't know, but he's still there because they're starting quarterback Cam Rising. He's hurt again, and
Should get him on the
he's
pod.
he's one of those super seniors. So I think Utah's gonna be a top 10 team. But that's as long as their quarterback's healthy.
Think Utah top 10? What were they last year? Top 10 still? They were killing it, weren't they?
They were right around there. Well, their thing was they went down to Florida last year, the first game of the year, and won it they lost it the last
Yes.
second.
Yes.
But they play tomorrow. Florida, I saw this. Florida's playing their first non-conference game outside the state of Florida in 32 years. They haven't played a non-conference game outside of Florida in 32 years, and they're going and playing Utah.
Really?
So I'll definitely be tuning into that one. That's going to be one hell of a way to kick off the football season.
Let's see. We're looking right now. I'm looking right now. This weekend.
Yeah, Rising's still there, but he's been banged up, so I don't know if he's going to play.
Rising
Against Florida. Yeah, Cam Rising.
So tomorrow we got Florida, Utah. Let's see what kind of banger games we got. Florida, Utah. Rice, Texas, going to be a banger. Texas going to choke.
If Texas chokes, dude, they gotta.
LSU, Florida State, Sunday.
Dude, did you watch that game last year?
I cannot recall.
Dude, that was okay. That might have been the game of the year last year. It was like a 6-point game with like a minute left. They get a turnover, go all the way down the field, score a touchdown. There was a 5-point game. It was 7. They go down and they score a touchdown, 99-yard drive in a minute and a half, no timeouts, and they miss the extra point.
Oh, yep. Yo, weren't we talking? Weren't we all on? Something was happening. I remember that. They go down and miss like that night. I think that weekend, like 4 different teams missed like game-winning field goals or chips to win, right? Like,
yeah, they missed an extra point to tie the game and send it to overtime after a 99-yard drive in 90 seconds.
And then someone did in the NFL too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was just a weird weekend.
I mean, you're gonna get that every week in NFL.
Shit.
I don't know how the NFL can't attract quality kickers.
Doesn't make sense. We got, let's see, Montana State's playing Utah Tech.
Oh, dude.
Over under, who wins?
Oh, Utah Tech's terrible. They were, I don't know if you remember Dixie State.
Oh, hey, Jack's in the chat. We went down to Dixie State and beat their ass.
That's the same school. They changed their name.
The Utah Tech, that's Dixie?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Dixie.
Hey, the Grizz almost
They
lost.
changed their name like 2 years ago.
Yeah. The Grizz almost lost to well, Dixie was beating them in the first half, I think, like 2 years ago at home. Then the Grizz came out and pulled their head out of their ass. No, football at home. 2021?
Oh, that was during, I'm pretty sure that was during the COVID year, was it not?
It was a year after because Chris and I were there.
That was that game?
Yep. Oh, we got B. Howie in the chat. Yeah, they changed the whole name because the little NAI school from Great Falls came in and beat their ass. Who the Grizz got this weekend?
They got Butler, dude. I mean, they brought out the depth chart yesterday, and you know how Bobby Houck is. Love Bobby Houck, but he's one of the biggest douchebags around and completely put all the two stringers as starters on the 2D because he can.
Oh.
And then he said that he's not going to announce a starting quarterback on Monday, and then the depth chart comes out and it's listed 2 guys, or that guy. He's just Bobby's a douche.
Bobby's
Love
a
him, but-
douche, he
I love
says.
him, but that dude's an asshole, dude. But they got Butler this weekend. Should handle them. They won't have a challenge until they actually play the defending D2 champs this year.
That's what you were
Lose-lose
saying.
for us. It's a lose-lose. We beat them by 40. Okay, you beat a D2 school. Keep it close. Oh, it's a D2 school. You should have whooped up on them. So that's going to be their first real test. They got a couple easy ones. They actually go and play at Utah Tech this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if we have a quarterback by week 4 or 5.
We'll see, man. That's been the biggest question mark with the Grizz, hasn't it? Quarterback the last couple of years. I don't think you've been a fan of a single quarterback.
Hey, I liked Lucas Johnson last year. He just couldn't stay healthy. Took a couple cheap shots last year, and he was banged up, and that's why we went out and got two starter caliber quarterbacks this year.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So we'll see. They're the Grizz 2 quarterbacks. They're very, very different. One's a pocket passer, and one likes to get out of the pocket and run a little bit more. So we'll see.
So what's your prediction for them? Did you say 8-2? What'd you say?
Realistically, probably 8-3. Best case scenario, 10-1. They got a couple tough games. They got obviously that other school in the state. They go play at Idaho, preseason top 5 school. They got Sac State, who was co-conference champs last year. So I mean, the Big Sky, dude, it's the second best conference in the FCS. So any given weekend,
man. I mean, yeah, give us the boo. B. Howie says you're the college football encyclopedia. So
not quite, but
I think he is. No, that's being humble. That's being humble. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit before we get into kind of the college football playoff picture. I know we have our picks. How do we see the Brawl of the Wild going this year, man? I know it's early in the year. If you had to have an early prediction, who's winning? Is it gonna be a blowout? Is it be a good game? Is Tommy Malott gonna this is junior year, right? So we still got 2 more years of this cat. Is he gonna torch us? What's he gonna do?
Last year was gonna be a good year in that game, and I was wrong. But Cats, I think they're 5 out of the last 6. Home team has won the last 2. And before we get into it, I'd just like to say, if it wasn't for Grizz fans, game day would have never even thought about entertaining Bozeman last year.
Facts.
That was bullshit. The Grizz put on one hell of a campaign to get ESPN there, and they backed out for the old cliche Ohio State because Kirk Herbstreit, man. Fuck that guy.
Dude, Kirk can go kick some rocks. I remember that, dude, and I knew it was gonna happen. And we may have talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I freaking knew it was gonna happen. I was like, this is too good to be true. Like the rumors went around, yeah, they might come, but then there was that Ohio State game, right? And I was like, watch, they're not gonna come this year. They're gonna come next year to Bozeman, so their asses can stay in fucking Big Sky. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like. Of course, Bozeman gets that, and Missoula did so much more. They had it. They had Bring Game Day on the M.
Oh, it was a whole campaign, man.
Yeah,
For weeks.
did all the work, and then all the blue collars do the work, and guess what? Rich ass Bozeman comes in, steals it up. Sounds about America, right? Jesus. And then guess what? The Grizz don't fucking show up. Like,
yeah.
the year the Grizz. Anyways, like, let's not get into this. I know Jax and Brendan got something to say in the chat. Okay, I don't see it, but I feel I'm just typing it right now. But I'm gonna do this. Grizz win, Brawl the Wild 2023. They're gonna win 42-27 with 3 turnovers in the whole game. They're going to force 3 turnovers. Interceptions, fumbles, whatever.
I like it.
I got them winning. Washington Grizzly Stadium. That's just my prediction. Who knows? Did you say yours, Heff?
No, I think I'm going to go 31-28 on a late special teams touchdown by Junior Bergen to win the game.
Mark it. Hey, it's either that or the Grizz are going to. It's either that or the Grizz are going to get the shit beat out of them, and it'll be another bubble year, and then Bobby gets fired. I think it goes one or two ways. You don't think Bobby's getting fired if he don't show out this year?
Fired unless we miss the playoffs, I don't think he's getting fired. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but just from what's out there, the boosters love him, and
I bet they do. He represents the glory days, right? Like, he represents those deep runs back when we were in fucking elementary school.
Yeah, how long ago was that, though? It's time
exactly. And
to start winning now and stop looking back on the past. I'm over it.
And no disrespect to Bobby, no disrespect at all. I don't know the guy. I saw him once on campus, and I said, Bobby! And he gave me the...
No, I met him a couple times. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but sometimes,
he's just...
the play calling really bugged me. I'm just going to say that. Play calling, it reminded me of Great Falls High 2010s. Where
it was a run up the middle, a slant, a swing route, or a little freaking halfback screen route. It was very predictable, but the O coordinator who was calling plays, he's gone. He took a lesser role. Guy who replaced him, Brent Pease, he's been O coordinator everywhere. He was O coordinator at Florida a while ago. He's been there, done that, so hopefully he can reinvent the offense. I don't know what they need.
Yeah, to talk about the other guys from Bozeman, I did see a cool YouTube piece by the NFL on Troy Anderson. And even though there's a big rival, I don't like the Bobcats, I'll always fuck with the Montana athlete making it big, man. And if you ever have a chance, go on YouTube. Maybe we'll post out the link on that. It's pretty cool to get a little insight of like how he came up in Dillon and like just thriving at Montana State. How many positions he play, Heff?
I mean, he's a linebacker in the NFL who played quarterback in college, so
and running back and receiver and like
tight end, linebacker,
like
D end, probably lined up inside too, a D tackle a couple times.
Yeah, and like they had a really good piece on him, and they had a bunch of other dudes who were kind of like, I don't want to say underdogs, but kind of sneak picks in the draft, and it was pretty cool. It's like 30 minutes on YouTube. It was really cool. We'll always support them. Hopefully, maybe one day we can get one of those cats on here, someone. But if any of y'all know any people like playing for the Grizz Cats, you want us to go and ask to come on, like we're more than welcome. Hopefully, in a perfect world, week of the Brawl of the Wild, maybe we pull someone on here from both sides and just kind of get a little interview. We're not going to harass. We're not going to do anything like that, but I think it's cool to get a little insight because
I can't make any promises.
Well, I mean, this guy.
That's right.
But I'm just curious on like the preparation for something like that because we are not little, state's big, but small population Montana. But like
Mhm.
that weekend, they don't care about it in basketball as much. They don't care about it in volleyball. But that weekend for football is like the Super Bowl for Montana. And if we can get some of those players on, former, current, maybe committed, it'd be dope. It'd be dope. But
Yeah, I do want to double back real quick. You were talking about Troy Anderson. I got another cool one for you. Dylan Cook. He
yeah,
was a NAIA quarterback at one of the worst schools in the country.
ever.
Walks on at UM, tackle. Just made the 53-man roster for the Steelers as an offensive guard.
Did he really?
He did, in an offensive guard
Wow.
after playing quarterback for Northern.
From Butte, Montana, man. Growing up playing
Oh,
quarterback, kind of maybe in the shadow a little bit behind his brother. Dallas was a dog in high school. Damn, making the Pittsburgh Steelers, huh? That's so funny. He
yeah.
was quarterback at Northern. Now he's on the Steelers for a guard. Oh my
Uh,
God. Yeah, stack that cheese. Windex, as the late great Scott Cook would say. Windex. He produced some big boys, that's for sure. Dallas threw me in like the 5th row of the stands just by barely bumping into me. All right, college football playoffs, Hefs. Like, what are you thinking? I know we just got done with week 0. But like, what's the vibe here? Like, if you had to pick right now, give me your playoff picture and why and why.
I mean, go look at Georgia's schedule and tell me if there's a reason not to pick them. They probably play the easiest schedule from any Power Five.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play anybody. They might have one or two semi-tough games, so you gotta throw them in there at the top. Alabama, I don't know. They've been down a little bit. I'm sure they'll be up there. Um, I was thinking about it. I got a couple wild cards. I think Clemson. I think they're gonna be really good, but at the same time, in that same conference, Florida State won 10 games last year. They're bringing back a ton of people. They got Heisman candidate quarterback. So you got those two teams out of the
Dude,
ACC.
Club Nick Shipley duo in the backfield. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. The
Yeah.
Pac-12. I think the Pac-12. They're gonna do what they do every year, and they just everybody beats everybody and doesn't allow anybody to have a good enough record. But they got some really good teams out there. Oregon's gonna be good. Oregon State won 10 games last year. They brought in Clemson's quarterback.
USC.
USC, if they could play a lick of defense, they
That's the
gave up
thing.
28 to San Jose State. Utah's a bunch of dogs, dude. If they could stay healthy, Washington had the best offense in the country last year. You got the intrigue with Colorado.
Is Colorado even ranked?
No, they're. I love Colorado. I've loved what they've done, but we've never seen this before. You got, I think it's 77 new scholarship
Yeah,
players on their roster.
most ever, right? Like by far.
I don't see them winning more than 5 games. I don't think they make a bowl game. I'd love it if I was wrong. I'd love it if I was wrong, but I think that's just too much turnover
Let's look
at
at
such a
this.
high level.
Let's look at this Colorado schedule.
Well, shit, you start with the national championship runner-up.
TCU, that whole TCU year was a fluke. Was a fluke.
They kind of rode that wave though.
They did for sure. So they open up with TCU, then they go to Nebraska. So let's say 1-1 there. I think they beat a Nebraska. They beat a Colorado State.
I don't know, dude. Nebraska's improved too. New quarterback, new head coach. They got Matt Rule, who completely turned over Baylor.
But you got prime time. And you got
Yeah,
dogs. He came out and he was
I
like,
think that game.
look, I get it. For sure, I get it. But you got to think Colorado got the swag, they got the coach. And if anyone through rough and high water you want on your side, I want prime time. He makes me want to run through a wall and I'm just watching him talk on my phone. I think they
I'm
go.
not betting against them.
Yeah, you go ahead.
But that game's a coin flip.
Yeah, then they got Colorado State. I think they beat a Colorado State. So this is where we'll see where they're at. This 2 week, 3 week, 4 week stretch. Actually, for the rest of their season, we'll see where they're at. Week 4,
Oh,
they're going
shame.
they're going to 15 Oregon. They might not be 15 at that time. What
That's
if
a
they
loss.
beat that Oregon? What if they beat them though?
They won't. They're not going to.
You don't think there's any shot they beat
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I'm
We'll
not even
see.
that high on Oregon. I don't
Yeah.
think Colorado's gonna be
Then
good.
they go to USC week 5. Okay. So at this point we're looking at maybe 2 and 3. Okay? They could beat an Arizona State.
With wins where Colorado State and Nebraska,
Yep.
that might be all they get.
You don't think they beat an Arizona State? You don't think they beat a Stanford? You don't think they beat a UCLA or an Arizona or a Washington State?
They're not beating Arizona. They're not beating Washington.
You don't
State.
think
Those
they're
other
beating
three,
Arizona?
Dude, Arizona's good. They got a great quarterback.
Is that the same
they got a
cat from
great
last
coach.
year? He kind of
Yeah,
put
Jay
on.
Delora.
He put on. There was some.
Jay
I think it was a
Delora's
Pac-12
good.
after dark game. I watched him just go stupid.
Arizona's gonna be good, dude.
But
Watch out.
Colorado, that's gonna be interesting, man, because that's something we've never seen before. Dion's at a, if there's a year they don't do good, it's this year, because Dion's been having surgeries and shit, like getting things all taken care of with his health. So that's a good thing to lay back on. So you're thinking Georgia. You said Utah? Was it Utah?
No, I've kind of been bouncing back and forth. So my 2 locks right now are Georgia and Michigan. I think Michigan's going back a third time. I mean, why bet against them?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yep.
Quarterback back. I think Corum's back. I mean, it's hard to bet against them, dude. Especially what they did last year to Ohio State. That was just embarrassing, man. Ran them off the field.
It was due.
And then I'm thinking Big 12. Big 12. Who does the Big 12 have? Texas? Baylor? No. I don't see anyone out of there even competing.
TCU?
No. They're gonna be 6-7 wins. They're gonna come back to reality this year.
Yeah, get that little. They were doing this when I watched TCU versus Colorado last year, week 1. They were doing this. Go Frogs!
I always forget that you went there,
dude. I went to that first game. Chat, everyone in the podcast, listen. Week 1, I go over to watch Colorado versus TCU. Week 1, okay, and I'm sitting in between TCU fans, Colorado fans, whatever. I grew up a Texas Longhorn fan because I really liked Colt McCoy, Jordan Shipley, those cats, right? And so I'm just, if you know me, I'm a bullshitter. I'm going to be out there. Sometimes I just stir the pot to stir the pot. Anyways, all these pissy-ass TCU fans, they won the game. It was such a boring game. It was like, wasn't it the first televised college football game of the year, Heff? It was like Friday.
Yeah.
It started everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking out of the stadium after TCU beat a terrible Colorado team. Like, terrible. And TCU looked terrible, too. And against a terrible team, I was like, these guys suck. And I looked over at a guy. I was like, you're not even going to go 500 in the Big 12. Texas is going to beat the shit out of you. Next thing you know, they make it to the freaking college football playoff. Like, that was embarrassing. And they beat Texas. So, saw him off. Come on, D. So you got Georgia, Michigan, no one from the Big 12.
No one from the Big 12. I got a couple wild cards here. Probably going to be way off on these two, but it's just a gut feeling. One's a gut feeling, and one is it's just me trying to hit on something big.
Okay.
So my wild card, it's either Clemson or Florida State. Whoever wins the ACC.
Okay.
I think I'm taking Clemson.
Okay.
So I got Michigan, I got Georgia, I got Clemson, and I'm going Washington.
I knew you were gonna say Washington. In chat, if you're in the chat, give us your college football playoff predictions. We'll read them off and we'll see. So we got
Washington, one of the best offenses in the country last year. Return everybody.
Georgia, Michigan, Washington, Clemson. You're going.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I knew for some reason I had a feeling you would say Washington. Who's their quarterback? They're rocking with Penix Jr., Caleb Presley at cornerback. What's that Romeo? They have a Romeo cat over there, don't they?
Oh yeah, the receiver. I know.
Something. Let's see. Yeah, Romeo or Oguzi or something like that. Lil Uzi. But I'm excited, dude. I'm really excited for the college football just to even start. We'll start to see how things fold. And we're like getting deeper and deeper into that NIL shit, man. Like, who would have thought like 5-6 years ago this NIL stuff and the transfer portal like would be taking off the way it is?
Crazy, man.
Like, it's absolutely insane. Basketball, football, you name it. Like, you even see the transfer portal and NAI just going crazy. People bouncing around all the time. It's like it's a free agency.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's how the Grizz treated it this offseason.
Yeah.
Plug and play kind of guys. That's what everyone does.
All right. So my college football playoff teams, I'm gonna go Michigan, Texas, USC, Michigan, Texas, USC. LSU.
No.
Michigan, Texas, USC, LSU. That's where I'm going with it.
So the only path that LSU has, they got to win out. They got to beat Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah. Look, I get
good last year.
I would totally it's hard not to put Georgia in there. It's hard not to put Georgia in there, but look, they've lost a lot from their first national championship. That second one, they said they lost a lot last year, right? But then they came back, ran it back. But they just lost Stenson. They lost some other cats up in there. Look,
dude, you could have played quarterback for them last year and led them to a championship.
Right, but familiar faces in a familiar system go a long way.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? And like, who knows? Like, some of that veteran leadership can cost them a game or two in early or late. Like, who knows? I'm just going LSU just cause. I mean, give me a little John Emery Jr. Shit.
Hey, Jane Daniels is nice though. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see kind of how that rolls out. So what did I say? I said Michigan. Did I say Michigan?
Michigan,
Texas,
USC, LSU.
All right, chat. Who do you guys got in there? And I'm going USC because I feel like this Caleb Williams.
Dude, they can't stop a nosebleed.
I think, but they can work on it though. They can work on it though, and I feel like this Caleb Williams train is about to take off.
Dude, they have the worst defense in the country and the best offensive conference in the country. They're going to give up 50 a game.
But that doesn't – I'm not saying they're winning the Natty. I'm just saying they're going to win it all. I mean, get to the playoff, I shall say.
If you're coming out of the Pac-12, you might have to run the table.
Yeah, for sure. Got to go up against like a Washington, Utah. I don't know how the schedules are all worked out. Oregon State's going to be tough. You know, Stanford's always like a sneaky – they're going to always knock someone out at some point, huh?
Yeah. They'll keep it close. I don't know. Stanford's kind of trash. There's a reason them and Cal got left out of the Big 12, Big 10.
Yeah,
the rest of the schools.
They ain't got Christian McCaffrey or Andrew Luck no more.
No. They just don't care about sports at there. They're or Cal. You got one in the Heisman.
Heisman?
Best player in college football.
I want to say Caleb Williams.
Running it back?
Why not?
I mean, you just don't.
Caleb
do
Williams
that.
or JJ McCarthy?
Okay. Michigan, I'm just telling you now, Michigan not hold the ball enough. They're
I don't
ground and
know.
pound where they ain't gonna put up the offensive numbers to
Do you
Bo
know? Do you know?
Nix.
Do you know who my? Do you know who my dark horses are?
Let's hear him.
I was doing a little
Quinn
research.
Ewers.
No,
Quinn Ewers.
Connor Wigman.
Oh God, dude. He only started 3 or 4 games last year just because everyone else was hurt. I think he's gonna be good.
Him and Nicholas Singleton are my two dark horses, man.
Okay,
Did a little research. I have my notes over here. I'm looking at. So,
that's fair.
um,
Connor Weigman's not the worst pick I've
is it
heard all day.
Weigman? Weigman.
Weigman, yeah.
How they looking?
Hey,
How
he
your
was
boys at A&M gonna be?
Man, it's so hard to tell. They signed the #1 class of all time 2 years ago, and I think there's maybe 5 or 6 guys on campus left from that already.
Really?
They've been dropping like flies.
Well, you
I
got
don't know.
Fimbo Jisher.
I think they'll be all right. They won't be as bad as they were last year, but that ain't saying much.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that Jimbo Fisher contract, man, he's here to stay.
Yeah.
But Pockets do run deep at A&M, so we'll see. I think they're 8-4, 9-3.
Mm-hmm. But if you go
So
10-2, that a
I'd be
Heisman year?
very happy.
That a Heisman year?
I don't know if they got the firepower on offense for those kind of numbers, if we're being honest. A&M, besides Johnny, who was a generational talent, they never have big time players like that. I mean, since Johnny, there's only been one other guy, and that was Kenny Hill. I don't know if you remember Kenny Hill. His first game, dude, he threw for like 600 yards against South Carolina on a Thursday. And you didn't hear from him ever again until he went to TCU. And he was all right at TCU, but just A&M don't have the firepower for that.
Yeah. We'll see. You never know. Never know. I know
Yeah.
you know a lot more in this realm than I do, for sure. But those are my pick. Who you picking?
I'm gonna catch some serious heat for this one, but I got Michael Penix Jr.,
Michael.
quarterback, Washington.
Oh, yo, okay. Yeah.
Dude, he's a stud, and they got some dogs out there. They like to tear it out a little bit. I got them in my playoffs, so I mean they're gonna have to get there somehow, and I think it's that left arm of Michael Penix.
How about Bo Nix, man?
I mean, you can never go wrong with an Oregon quarterback by default in the offense they play in, the numbers they put up.
I think Oregon's
Not
on the
big
fringe
Penix.
of being, not big panics. Jesus.
Hey, I do like Dan Lanning though. The one thing they always needed was defense. So what do? They go get Georgia's D coordinator
Yep.
to be their head coach.
Why
So I
not?
think we're on the right path, but he's only been there. I think this is his 3rd year.
Yep.
He's still retooling the roster.
Yep.
They'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they can win it all, kind of like Notre Dame, they lose a lot of big games.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's kind of flipped that script. Now we're kind of seeing that, like, anyone in the chat have anything to say about those lists? Some of y'all being quiet. It's all good, though. But now I guess the ACC saying that they're going to be having it in theaters.
Oh, dude.
That would be lit.
Regular season games and the New Year's 6 bowl games. So, like, your big time top 25 bowl games are going to be in the movie theaters. Where has that been, dude? I remember when I was in college, dude, they had a theater on campus in Missoula. And I went there and I watched the Super Bowl one year, and I was like, dude, this is about the coolest fucking thing I've done. And it was the Falcons and the Patriots. It was a 28-3 game, dude. No shit, I fall asleep 28-3.
In the theater?
It's a 1-score game. Yeah. It was me and Riley Jacobson. Just I fell straight asleep in that game, dude. It was just so quiet in there, and then I wake up and we got ourselves a ball game.
Dude, I remember during that 28-3 game, I was at my dorm at UP, And it was just like, oh fuck, like we're getting the shit beat out of them. Sid and I go to the Peak in Great Falls, which, if those who don't know, it's a
During
gym.
the Super Bowl.
During a Super Bowl, we go to the Peak at halftime. Didn't even watch the Super Bowl like halftime show. We went and hot tubbed. I shot in the gym, got some shots up. Went and hot tubbed and steamed. I come out of the steam room and hot tub like after I showered. I'll be fucking damned if the Patriots were storming down the field about to take the damn lead. Then Julian Edelman had that catch, and I was like, what
Oh,
the
God.
hell? I was like, oh my God. Like, that would be
I'm
such
gonna-
a
hang on.
hold on.
Yeah, I need some reasoning behind that comment, Jordan. Such a fumble.
I don't want to go
I-
watch that in the theater. Why don't you want to watch that in the theater?
Dude, it's a movie theater, but it's a football game. You don't gotta treat it like a movie. You know that shit's gonna be rowdy as hell.
Dog, and if anything, it's like you're at a game. Like it has that environment. Like you're kind of in the stands. You're cheering. There might be other fans all over the place. Like they're gonna have fights in the movie theater. There might,
Dude, well, it's like you're not gonna go like.
not gonna say
Let's
it.
just say hypothetically, it's Clemson and Florida State are playing. You're not gonna have North Carolina State fans rolling up. It's gonna be your school. There's not gonna be just random fans there unless they got nothing better to do. Which, I mean, shit, I'd go, but
But for those big
majority of the
games,
people there are gonna be dudes representing their schools. You would think.
and for big games, bro, like a college football playoff or something in a theater. Look, where movie theaters are, they need something like this to bring in some goddamn money. First off. Second off, I think this is like for the average Joe like me, like I'm living in a place I don't have a lot of friends. Like I have friends, but like we would totally go out and go watch it at a theater. You know, I don't know enough people to have a Super Bowl party or anything. I will go get belligerent in a theater and just cheer and cheer and cheer if I was watching like North Carolina versus Duke. Like imagine going watching North Carolina versus Duke basketball in a theater. That's lit. Why do I say it? Everyone says that. Why do I say it like that? Theater. People say theater. Theater.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a theater.
The theater.
Agree to disagree on that one, pal.
Oh, LaFontaine.
Hey, I agree though. There's prefer to watch a game at my house. I honestly, there's some times where I could drive over to Missoula for a game, and I would honestly prefer to watch it at home. So I get that.
Imagine Cat Grizz in the
Obviously-
theater. I said it for you
Yeah, well,
guys.
nothing
Theater.
beats the game day atmosphere at the stadium, but watching games at home, I remember that Washington game when the Grizz beat the Washington Huskies a couple years ago. I was just moved into my new apartment. I was here for like 2 weeks. Thought I was gonna get my ass booted since I was so loud, dude. But just the comfort of being home, you can get as rowdy as you want. You don't gotta get judged.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get where he's coming from. I see both sides to it. But if they had movies in theaters, you bet your ass I'm going. You
Hey,
gotta go
dog.
at least once.
Hey, dog. I would go. It wouldn't be like an every like
No.
all the time type thing, but I think it brings like a cool dynamic to like how do you can experience a game, you know?
Oh yeah.
Because like out here, I went to like an IMAX theater. There you go, D theater. And they had a booze, like they had a bar there. Like, and I was going to watch
shit.
Barbie, and like if you could have a couple beers and like you could dress up and like paint your face if you're that kind of fan and go watch on a huge screen. I think a lot of people think that's cool, and I think that's cool. I'd definitely do it, especially for basketball. Like if Duke, North Carolina was in a theater out here, I would at least think about it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
but I would at least think about it because it's entertainment and it's awesome. And when you're with a group of people and it's a really good game going on, like you could like not necessarily mimic the energy of being in the gym, but like some of that's still like transferable to like where you're at if you have the right of people around. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
movie theaters and a stadium atmosphere, I don't think it'll ever be big enough to have that. No, I don't think it'll be like I'm at,
It'll give you a
College
feel for
Station.
it,
But
though.
like it's the dynamic of you're watching two teams. There's fans on both sides there, and if they're there, they're not going to be quiet fans. I feel like they're going to be diehard people
It's
dressed
like,
up.
it's like watching it in a bar, but on this giant ass screen. I think that's cool as
Exactly.
hell.
And I think you'll get some kind of environment that, oh, we're going for the Grizz, or oh, we're going for the Cats, or we're going for Duke, we're going for the Tar Heels. People are going to be cheering, they'll be yelling. And like, if there's a fight, hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, he said.
But I feel like you're going to have like security or something there for sure, because you might get some goons rolling in with some weapons and shit. And like, we don't want that.
No. Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I mean, some might not be for everyone, but I think it's cool. Like, something at least I would entertain. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, and it could be something that becomes a thing, like it could become a thing.
Yeah.
So they'll be interested. I hope B Howie's still in the chat, still tuned in with us, because we're gonna be getting into this NBA World Champs. That damn runner came out, and congratulations to him. I'm pretty sure he won gold. But for some reason, he threw a shot. The NBA caught a stray from like one of the world's fastest guys. The NBA caught an absolute stray. What's his name again? Lyles?
Noah
Lyles threw a stray at the NBA, and he said, "World champions of what? The United States?" Like,
that was pretty spot on.
Like, yo, okay. First off, I get it. Like, in a literal sense, I was going back and forth on a dude on Twitter like 2 days ago.
Oh God.
Did you see that?
No, but
I was going back and forth on dude on Twitter. In a literal sense, yes, we're in the United States and there's the championship, okay? But the world champions means the best in the world. What league are you playing in? The NBA. Okay, I'm pretty sure a third or a fourth of the league are Europe's, China's, Africa's best basketball players. If you're the best basketball player in the world, you're not going to go play in the Euro League. You're going to come over to the NBA and chase the bag and chase an NBA championship. That's why I think it is a world champion. Because if you took the KD Golden State Warriors, you took the Heatles, you took MJ's championship teams, you took Kobe and Shaq's NBA championship teams. There is not another team that is not in the NBA that would come close to beating those guys. So they are the world champs because they're the best players on the best team in the best league in the world. World champs. And if people want to argue with that and want to be like super literal about it, like literally, no, they're not playing Germany's best team because they don't have to. They don't got to do that. You don't want to watch that game. You don't want to watch it. You really don't. I'm pretty sure Nikola Mirotic, who played on the Bulls and was a role player, won the fucking EuroLeague MVP. He didn't think it was like the world champs come from the NBA, okay? Argue me about it. Yeah, literally, they're not playing the champion of the EuroLeague because they don't have to. Jokic is over here because he's too good for the league. Anyways, these guys are crazy. He started controversy. I get where he's coming from. No disrespect to him. He's a world champ himself because he's racing against these guys from other countries. Awesome. Like, salute to you. Like, the dedication and work that got to go into that, but you ain't got to throw strays like that, dog. You ain't got to throw strays like that because, like, we literally don't need to even do that. Could you imagine if the NBA champions went and played like the EuroLeague champions?
I don't want to know what that would look like. That would be bad for business. That would be bad for business. The ratings would be fine in the first half, the TV ratings, but after the first half, everyone's going to be like, this is exactly what the fuck we thought was going to happen. TV's off at halftime.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Euro, we'll get to LaFontaine's question here in a sec. The thing about EuroLeague, though, they do play a really good systematic ball. They move the ball well. They do a lot of good
Absolutely.
things and like very good system ball, right? And so I think it like if we played a 7-game series, they might catch one, maybe two. But like just in terms of the pure talent, you're
No,
not going to be able to have guys to sit in front of a LeBron all series
they're not
long. Like
taking a single game.
I'm saying like in the most extreme fashion, right? Like look,
Maybe if you got like one of these.
Yeah. But I was also saying like we don't even send our best players like to LaFontaine's point. Is Jokic playing for the Nuggets or is he playing for Serbia for the world champs? Wait, what are you saying?
I think he's saying that an NBA championship is more important than a FIBA championship.
And I would agree.
That's the way I would interpret that. Tell me if I'm wrong, but
Europe is more physical. Shut up. I mean, maybe. I don't
the
think
NBA
so.
is so charm and soft, dude. I ain't gonna lie.
It is charm and soft, but bro, the
NBA.
reason why the NBA is charm and soft, because like now it's like an entertainment product more than it ever has been. More offense, more points generate more views and more money.
I ain't trying to watch, with all due respect, the biggest crybaby James Harden ref bait all night, dude. Everybody's doing it.
for
There's
sure.
ref baiting, there's flopping, there's LeBron James got fouled last year on that no call at the end of the game that sent just overtime. Yeah, it was one of the worst missed calls of the season. Homie literally throws a fucking little tantrum, dude. That's the shit I ain't trying to watch.
No, people don't like it, bro. And like
I'm a little bit more higher than a casual. Like I follow the NBA, I keep up. I don't watch a ton of games, and that's why, because that shit's stupid.
yeah. LaFontaine's saying if it comes down to it, what would he choose? Obviously he'd choose the NBA or he would have stayed in Serbia. That's just my opinion. But, you know, that's why we have the Olympics. Like Olympics, we can consider that a world title, but we stopped sending our best players to the Olympics because what were we doing? There was a couple years there. Spain would keep it close. We should talk about Eric Lewis here in a sec. We should talk about Eric Lewis here in a sec. But like, we don't send our best players anymore. You know, we don't like we're sending young guys, and like we ended up getting a bronze a couple years ago. But like, we know what it's about, dog. And the NBA is soft. Europe might be more aggressive, but look, the NBA has turned into more of an entertainment product than anything. And if James Harden's scoring 50, that brings in money. They don't want, you know.
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
You know what I mean? They don't want Bruce Brown scoring 50.
I ain't trying to watch that shit.
No, and a lot of people aren't. I think that's what drawn a lot of people away. But we still can't argue that the talent in the NBA is so much higher and so much above the other levels. And I'm not saying people in EuroLeague are bad by any means, but there's a reason why they're not in the NBA. And I'm telling, like, the average basketball player would get the shit beat out of them 1,000 times out of 1,000 by the worst EuroLeague player because they're still that good. They're still professional hoopers. But the NBA, there's a reason why like Nikola Mirotic goes back over to the EuroLeague after playing maybe 10, 15 minutes in the league and wins like EuroLeague MVP or like, you know, is putting up crazy numbers. Or that's why there's these jokes about I'm going to send you to Guangdong and you're going to average 50 because that's literally what it is.
You better learn to speak Chinese, buddy.
Like, but I think I have a theory that kind of goes into this conversation. I have a theory on the NBA. What if in 20 years, the NBA is expanded to Europe? Okay. So you have the leagues over here in the United States. You have that league. But then you still have NBA extensions over in Europe. So there's a London team. There's a Spain team. There's a Germany team. There's a Shanghai NBA team.
Would be brutal for 82
No. But listen, this is how they'd break it up, okay? You would go over there for 2 to 3 weeks and play so many games. When you come back, there's like an intermission within the league, you know, like, okay, we're going to take a week or two off, da-da-da. Then you flip-flop, da-da-da. And then the playoffs is this side, then that side goes, the championship, the winner of the overseas and the winner of the United States plays for the NBA championship.
The GBL. Oh god.
But that's I don't know if that makes sense, but that was something I was talking to somebody about, and I was like, because what is the NBA is gonna have to do something. We can't. The NBA is not always gonna be the same 30 teams for the next 50 years. They're gonna probably get a Mexico City team, but what point do?
International is just too difficult with travel, though.
But look, it's like what 12 hours. You know what I mean? They're flying 6 hours to.
When you're going country to country with passports and all that.
If anyone can make it happen, it's the NBA, because it's just the travel piece. Like you would have, okay, this team is on this rotation. Okay, this team is doing their tour over there, getting their non-conference in. Then there's going to be a group of them over in the United States getting their non-conference in. Does that make sense? And it might be split up.
I like the concept.
But something like that's got to happen, bro, because the NBA is going to keep expanding. LaFontaine said, Eric Lewis gone. That's fucking crazy. They stopped investigating Eric Lewis right as he said he retired. They said, oh, no, investigation's done. Eric Lewis is retired. What? Wasn't he given intel on betting and shit? Like,
I'm pretty sure he was. That's kind of like that college baseball scandal, too. Did you hear about that one? Oh, God. I forget who it was, but this dude goes into a random sports book in Ohio and, like, tries putting, like, $10,000 down on a given team. And they're like, well, we can't accept this bet. Like, we've accepted maybe 10 bets all week on college baseball, and nothing's been more than 20, 25 bucks. Like, something's up. There's a reason for this. And apparently it comes out that he was homies with the coach, and the manager was like giving him inside information about how his ace wasn't starting, and it was going to be some freshman that started 2 games all year. And apparently the dude was so stupid, he was texting the manager right there as he was doing it, and there were cameras behind him that could zoom in and see his conversation.
what school was
And
this?
this dude was getting, I forget what it was.
Like
It
a
was an
big
SEC
school? SEC school?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Let me look. I'm going to look this up.
No, dude, it was a huge thing, and the dude was a damn idiot. You could literally zoom in on his camera, on his phone and his texts.
Looking it up right now. College baseball. Alabama. It was Alabama.
Yeah.
He went in to put $100,000.
Was it 100,000?
It said, I'm looking at it right now. It's saying, okay, Bert listen, this is this guy's name. This is the most Alabama name ever. Bert Eugene Neff Jr. walked in the BetMGM Sportsbook at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati in possession of a large amount of cash, looking to make a huge score. He proposed a wager. His proposed wager quickly aroused concern and suspicion among the staff. It was reported, Sports Illustrated, that Neff wanted to bet more than $100,000 on a college baseball game that night. Alabama at number 1 LSU. Oh my God. I hope everyone lost their job.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
And if you go on to read, I don't know if that article has it, but it goes a lot deeper than just that. This dude got a lot of dudes fired.
That's crazy. And that's like this.
Dude had some names.
And this Eric Lewis thing, I think that's so ridiculous. The guy's not being investigated anymore that he just said he retired. Why do you think he freaking retired? Because he's being investigated, and it's going to like, oh my God. See, the NBA is corrupt. I do believe the NBA is corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make your money somehow.
Perfect example. Game 6, Game 7, Warriors versus Rockets. Who does the NBA? Who would the NBA rather see in the NBA Finals? The Rockets versus the Cavs, or the Warriors versus the Cavs?
Was fucking on.
Was it the Cavs on the other side, or was that the Raptors?
Yeah, it was.
Who would they?
Cavs.
But answer me this: who would the NBA rather see?
They want that storyline of Steph and LeBron.
Exactly. I saw something. I think it was Evan Turner. He was on a podcast. Did you see that clip? He said So they went into a game 7. He was on Philly. Do you remember when Philly took the Celtics to a game 7 in the Eastern Conference semis? Like back
Mhm.
when LeBron was in Miami, right?
Yeah.
And I think I forget the person who told him this, but he said, "We got to be up 15 to win by 1." And he was like, "What does that mean?" He said, "You got to be up 15 to win by 1 because once you get up, those whistles are going to start blowing and they're not going to be for you. Because who would the NBA rather see play the Heat? The Celtics." And
Very
that
storyline driven.
and that's how it is, man. And like that's why some people don't like it because sometimes it's obvious. LaFontaine said it's very corrupt, and I think they always have been. Like you look at that famous Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings back in like 2001, 2002 or something like that. The Kings should have went to the NBA Finals and they got absolutely hosed. Kobe should have got kicked out of the game because he smacked, who was it? He smacked like Mike Bibby straight in the face with the elbow. Had some of the worst calls ever. They kept Vlade Divac on the bench. They kept like all their players on the bench because of foul trouble. Like it's always been like that, and I hate to say that about the Lakers, but like I don't hate to say that. I hate the Lakers. I respect and love Kobe and Shaq. Don't get me wrong, but like they benefited from it.
And Austin Reeves.
Yeah, and
Legend.
Austin Reeves, the legend, statue
Yep,
Reeves.
that's right. He's
Um,
getting one way before Kevon Looney. Different teams, I know, but I'm
uh,
just saying, I'm throwing out there. If you know, you know.
um, but yeah, man. I mean, to go back to it, I do feel like the NBA's they are world champs for a reason. And like, if people have anything to argue, let's bring the best team from anywhere else in the world. Come and play the NBA champs and just see how that
No,
goes.
dude, that's clean sweep.
That goes. See how that
Clean
goes.
sweep.
Let's get into FIBA.
They'll fly.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, bro. Whoever wins the NBA Finals, I could fly over there for 4. And we wouldn't even have to do home and away. They'll go play 4 over there.
Yeah. FIBA rules. Those FIBA rules fuck people up. All right, let's get into FIBA basketball a little bit. I don't know if you've been really paying attention at all. My question is, when I put FIBA, stop, y'all out of pocket now? We're not out of pocket, LaFontaine. You're lucky I'm on stream because I would.
Like the AR-15 positivity over here.
We're not out of pocket. The Lakers definitely benefited. The Sacramento Kings should have went to that NBA Finals. I think it was 01, one of those years. But Lakers benefited of the whistles. You know, that's just how it is. And it is what it is. Suns lost a couple due to that too. But FIBA-wise, do you think this Team USA can do it? Do you think this young team, you know, with Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, because they're playing really fucking good right now, man. Like, what would it mean, Heff? What, like, in your opinion, what would it mean if they go and actually win the FIBA World Cup? With this group with really no KD, Steph, Draymond, LeBron, Kyrie, it's a bunch of young cat. I don't think anyone's over 30 except for Bobby Portis.
I don't like. I don't like it. I understand why these star players don't want to, but I personally am not a fan. I want to see the best that a country has to offer.
Yep.
Because you know these smaller countries, dude, they're scrapping for dudes. The talent level isn't there, so they're doing what they can. And then we got guys over here just like, nah, I don't feel like I think I'm gonna take the off season off. And like I get it, but at the same time, like you want to see the best players in the world on when we're playing globally like this FIBA. We want to see the best players. So
Yeah.
I do think it's cool seeing these younger guys come in, and I mean, if they end up winning it all, then it just goes to show you how talented the United States really is. Because what is it? The last 3, 4 MVPs are international. Like the game is
Mhm.
more global than any
Mhm.
other. Can't say that because soccer, obviously, but other than that,
Uh,
As a United States game, it is the most global game we have to offer.
I mean,
And so
yeah.
having I don't want to say our it's I'm not gonna call them scrubs or bums because they're not. They're not, but they're not our A team. And I think
No.
there's some other dudes on the B team who might take a spot over these guys. So I mean, half B team, half C team. It's not our best player. So if they go in there, I mean, it just shows you the talent level that the USA provides.
Yeah, man. I think that's a tough one. Like you said, I would like to see like our best go over there and compete. But LaFontaine made a good point. Like it's the next wave. Save the big dogs for the big dogs for
big dogs
Olympics.
gonna want to
But,
play in the
exactly,
Olympics, man?
exactly. Like they don't even want to. Like Steph, KD, these guys. Like if you have an injury, I get it. Like don't fucking do
Oh,
it. Like you
absolutely.
prepare yourself. But like some of these guys, like go fucking do it. That's why we're here. Like the Olympics. We were kind of talking about this earlier about world champs. The Olympics is the biggest sporting event ever that in no matter what sport, the best of the best of any given sport compete. You don't see soccer players sitting out during the World Cup, during the Olympics. They're giving it all. They're giving it their all. And like, yes, Anthony Edwards, Brunson, all these dudes, they might make the Team USA, might, but they're not our best. You know what I mean? We got Kyrie's out there. We got the Stephs out there. We got LeBron, KD. Like shit, even D Book. Like why isn't like my guy out there, man? Like it's crazy. And like you said, LaFontaine right there. Like watching Bron, Wade, Kobe, Melo, Dwight Howard, CP3. Like it was so fun to watch. Like 08. Back in 08, that was so fun to watch. And they did it again in 2012. And then 2016 happened. Did we win it in 16 or we didn't send our whole team? It was the KD year. KD was there. He was like the only big superstar, I think. Let me look it up. But that's what I want, especially for the Olympics. FIBA, LaFontaine, you have a good point there. I think FIBA, why not give it to the young bucks? They're the new wave. Give them a little experience. But when it comes to the Olympics, we need to be all hands on deck. Everyone needs to report to that Team USA camp and show out. Because I don't want to lose to Spain. I don't want us to lose to Spain. I don't want to lose to China. I don't want to lose to Serbia or Slovenia. Like, let's beat the shit out of everyone and let them know the best hoops is in the United States and nowhere else. But that Canadian team, they're kind of tough. The Canadian team's kind of tough.
I was talking with Jordan about this, dude. We were looking at that roster from 08. Jason Kidd, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony.
Yep. Okay, so
and then no disrespect, but 2020, you got dudes like JaVale McGee and Keldon Johnson and Drew Holiday, like Jeremy Grant. Like those are great players, but I mean, I feel like we could do so much better.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our Rio team. It was KD, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond, Clay, Paul George. So we won it that year for sure. We won it.
Last year they didn't win gold was 04.
Or
Argentina won gold in 04.
Oh, they might have dropped the game in the group stages and then came back and won it all. It was at 2016. They dropped the game in the group stage, then they came back and won it all.
It was.
But
Paris summer. Ooh.
But I think to bring it back to the original question, I think that I think this group can do it because they are playing some good basketball. And like you look at the players that they put on the team, like Jalen Brunson is the point guard of point guards. Like he could shoot, he could score, but he can really facilitate. You got Mikal Bridges who can lock down, and he grew up in the NBA through the Suns. He's a Villanova guy. He knows how to move the ball, very unselfish. You have Austin Reeves. Yeah, dude. Dude, and they have Austin Reeves. Like, it doesn't look like they're giving it to one guy and say, hey, go do it. They're doing it like they have 15 here, 15 there. This guy got his double-double. This guy had 4 points but 12 rebounds. Like, I think they can do it. And if they can do it in the FIBA World Cup, heck yeah. But I'm with you, Heff. For the Olympics at least, dog, give us our best of the best. Like, let's do it. And I saw some rumors that LeBron might join it for his last run. That'd be cool. Because they're like when you got to watch Kobe and LeBron, like back in 2008, dude, like watching Kobe and LeBron and them, dog, like with CP3 and like, then they went and battled Spain, who had a really good team, but we just still like, no one can do that. Like no one could mess with that, man. So, yeah. All right, before we wrap it up, Hef, let's get into here. Let's get give me your top 5 stadium bucket list, or just your stadium bucket list, like any
Are we
sport,
talking all
any
sports?
all
Any sports
sports.
venue?
Yeah, any sports venue. We'll do venue.
Top 5. Okay, I'm definitely throwing PNC Park in there. The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay.
Putting PNC Park. I'm gonna go Virginia Tech football. I think it's Lane Stadium.
Okay.
Oh, the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl's got to be on there, man.
For sure. For sure.
Ooh. Cameron Indoor.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Okay.
And then my last one might be a little bit of a homer pick, but Minute Maid Park.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate the Astros, but Minute Maid's dope park. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool as fuck in there. It's cool.
This isn't really a bucket list either, but have you ever seen Appalachian State's baseball stadium?
No.
Oh, dude, take a look at it. It just there's pictures of it in the fall where it's just surrounded completely by trees, and it's just like in the autumn, so it's like orange trees and
Uh-huh.
just a sharp looking field, dude. It looks so cool.
That's dope. I agree with Cameron. I think Cameron Indoor's on mine. Um,
And it's got to be for a Duke UNC game, though. It has to be.
yes, for Duke UNC game. I do Cameron Indoor. I do the O2 Arena over in London. They have a
Oh,
lot.
shit.
They have a lot of boxing and events and shit over
Masters
there.
counts. That's a good one.
Masters. Yeah, I'd throw the Masters on there. I do the waste management. I want to do waste management. That'd be cool. So I have Cameron
Is that the one with
Indoor,
that-
O2 waste management. That's where they're like throwing beer and shit on the
Yeah.
on like 16. Let's see. I would like to do those 3. Obviously, Yankee. If I could go back in time, it'd be the original Yankee Stadium,
Mhm.
old Yankee Stadium. And my last one, I'd say Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even
Madison
think
Square
of
Garden.
that.
So many like crazy events have happened in Madison Square. But yeah, so like O2, I believe it's called the O2 Arena. Let me look it up. It's O2 Stadium over there. And what's the capacity of it?
How about in 20? I just looked it up so I could fact check myself. 2016, there was a game at the Bristol racetrack. I think it's got the highest, 150,000 people at a college football game.
Jesus.
150,000.
Jesus. A WrestleMania too. Tink said a WrestleMania in the chat. But that's not like a specific spot. That's like bounces around, right?
We'll have that as a statement in the future. Different of sporting
It's
events.
different sporting
bucket
events. That's a
list.
good
That's
one,
a good
Tink.
one.
That's a good one to ask our guests whenever we get another one on here.
Dude, I like that, Justin. Got us thinking.
Got us thinking, baby. But yeah, we're at hour 20, baby. You ready to cut it off and say our goodbyes?
Productive. I mean, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Anything you guys want us to talk about next time? Any topics? Any guests you might want to see? Like we started with. We're
Mhm.
open to feedback and critiques. If there's stuff we could work on, things you think we could do better. If you want us to further elaborate on a topic that we've moved on from, any feedback is appreciated. We're still pretty new to this, and we're learning as we go. So
Yep.
appreciate y'all for tuning in again.
Absolutely. Learning as we go, and yeah, please give us that feedback. And please engage with us. I think one thing to help us kind of expand this is engaging with us on the socials. Let us know. What's so funny?
Before we go, what's your favorite kind of potato? What's your favorite
Mashed potato and
kind,
gravy.
favorite version?
Version,
Ooh,
mashed potato.
that's tough. I love me a good twice baked potato. I'm
Twice
gonna go
baked is
loaded
dope.
twice.
Loaded twice baked's just as good. You can make that a mashed potato too. Tink said week 1 Grizz assessment. I guess you missed. You got to go rewatch the pod. We talked about that earlier, Tink.
I didn't touch on this. I'll touch on it real quick. The three main things I'd like to see is I'd like to see if a quarterback stands out or if we will actually run 2 quarterbacks. We know Bobby can be full of shit, so we'll see that. I want to see the cornerbacks. We might be running out Trevin Gradney, a cornerback from Montana. I couldn't tell you last time we had a cornerback from the state of Montana start. So hopefully he's quick enough to keep up. And then the front 7, man, the whole defense is a question mark. So
Yep.
I'd love to see the front 7, and I'd love to see the quarterbacks in the corner. So
Yep. I'm excited, man. It's that time of year. It gives me goosebumps. I can't wait to start getting up early on those Saturday mornings with Heff. We get up there about like 5 in the morning watching game day, playing 2K or whatever we're doing.
5 in the morning, you up? He's like, I already got my coffee. I already showered. We're online by 5.
We're online, hungover. Yeah, but
he
yeah.
wants an assessment after week 1. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll give you an assessment,
We'll
Tink.
do that in like the later segment of each show. We'll just do a quick little recap of this week in sports.
Yep, we'll do a little recap. That's something to add on. We'll write that in the notes. But yes, engage with us on the socials. If it's sharing our stuff, if it's, commenting, whatever. Heff and I talked. We're gonna probably start doing some mini giveaways, like once we hit certain thresholds on the socials. I think our first goal is 100 followers on Instagram, and then 50 followers on Twitter. And we might start with Amazon cards, but I think we're talking about maybe throwing some Grizz or Cat tickets in there. And if we could somehow get a sponsor somewhere or another, maybe the sponsor would give you some Cat Grizz tickets. I don't know, baby. We ain't paying for that. I'm paying student loans.
But I'm sorry, chat.
No, yeah, we'll be there. But I'm just saying things like that. So we're looking to hit those thresholds, engage with us, push it out, be some ambassadors, man. And once if we get some merch or something, we'll throw it your way for putting on for the squad. But, thank you all again. And just let us know what you want to hear next week. We'll be posting some stuff. And if you want us to post about something specific, let us know. But we're going to let you go. Peace, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 3. It was dope. See you next week. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.